I'm in Canberra right now, in suburban Canberra. Good morning. Here I'm showing you something that, for some people, they might think this is expensive, but it's also something that can save you about $10 a day. And if your family members use it, it's a lot more than saving $10 a day. I've got a little table here in my kitchen, mainly because I've never done a fancy renovation of our kitchen. Maybe I will one day, but in some ways I'm quite happy with a simple kitchen. We really like cooking, but I don't have a big ego investment in fancy kitchens. This is a coffee machine, and I'm going to talk about coffee and making toasties or toasted sandwiches. And I haven't done a huge cleanup, so it's just as you would see it when you walk into my kitchen. Hello. Maybe that's a bit daggy, but that's kind of how I am. So this is a little table with a microwave on it and a little piece of melamine from Bunnings in Belconnen, and we just chopped it up and popped it on top of the microwave. It's an IKEA kind of square wooden table between the stove and the fridge. So here you have a coffee machine, and these days people keep saying you'll buy a house if you don't have avocados on toast for brunch on the weekend and save $21, or you'll get a house if you stop buying $5 coffees every day. And that's a bit ridiculous. Economics doesn't really work like that. We bought as a family a house in Canberra, and it went up about 6 times in 23 years. And that's got nothing to do with the price of brunch. It's got nothing to do with the price of coffee. But sensible budgeting will help at any time in life, whether you're a teenager, a uni student, working 9 to 5, working casual gig jobs, whether you're an age pensioner, a stay-at-home mum. I haven't been an age pensioner yet, but I've been a lot of those things that I've just mentioned. And I've always been quite sensible with budgeting. And I really like homemade food. I like homemade cooking. I like being at home in the kitchen, even though it's not renovated. I grew up in a semi in Sydney, and we had a very simple kitchen with an outdoor toilet until we moved out of there. Look, the coffee machine's making noises. But we had an outdoor toilet in Randwick in eastern Sydney until I was 11, and it was just outside the kitchen. And in the old days, people used to have toilets right at the end of the backyard. And then we moved to a large home on an acreage with 2 indoor toilets. Of course, they were indoor, and a pool. But I quite like those simple old semis, and they're now incredibly expensive. So it's funny that kitchens and bathrooms mean different things to different areas. But I'm used to a smaller kitchen. I like those humble kitchens. It's not so much how it looks, it's what you do with it, as they say about other things, or something like that. But I like humble things. Anyway, this coffee machine came from a Croatian-Australian guy who fixes coffee machines. And we didn't pay the market price for it, which is one good thing to always do, not pay market price. And we kind of gave some money for it, but it wasn't retail value because he was repairing these machines. And then I've got this Cambrook toasty maker I bought about 7 years ago, and it's made so many toasties. So the cost per use of this is quite stunning. For about $50, it can make so many toasties. In 7 years, that's about $7 a year so far. And it's still going. I'm just turning on that coffee machine. Anyway, so this toasty and this coffee maker are very valuable to a family, and I'd recommend them even at retail price for the DeLonghi. It's Italian designed, I think made in China, I'm not sure. I saw someone on Instagram recently, they had a photo of a DeLonghi in, I think, Florence or Rome. I think it was Florence. And they were saying they'd love one. And they're about $500 online. And I'd say buy one. It should last 5 or 10 years. That's not much a week, and you'll enjoy it. So I was going to discuss the importance of making coffee at home. Buy a beautiful cup. Buy the most beautiful cup you can find in the local mall, or from a potter, even better. For example, in Belconnen Westfield, you will have Maya, you will have Bed Bath and Table, you will have another kitchen store, if it's still there, near Coles, in the lower floor. And buy the most beautiful 6 cups, depending on how many people are in your home. Buy 2 each or just 1 each. And you get good sales at Maya and Bed Bath and Table. And have some lovely cups to use every day. And then have a good coffee maker. I also have a plunger, a Bodum. I have about 4 Bodums. 1 minute, I'll just grab it. You know, do you like the old Bodums and the old French presses? That was normal in the 80s to have a Bodum. You know, I used to sit with a potter in Arimba, and a ceramic artist, and we'd she'd have her plungers of coffee, a Bodum. I've got one in the chrome, the steel kind of look, and I've got this, and I've got 2 mini ones. And they're great too, and I recently bought a bean grinder. I've also been trying a lot of different coffee beans this year with the inflation hitting everybody around the world. And I've been trying some. When they would come on sale, I try them. This is one I've been trying, the grinders. And then I thought I'd try the generic home brand. So I've got 3 here. This is the Woolworths home brand. I'd recommend trying them all. And then you've got the Aldi home brand. And then the Coles home brand. And I'd say go and try all of them. There I've got my Lids for Kids. You know Lids for Kids? It's a recycling bottle top thing. My sons are actually really good at this. They pop things in there. I think those ones are a bit dusty, but we've got another container somewhere. I'm quite creative and random, so just bear with me. So try some different coffee beans. Try the generic. They're only about $12, I think. The Coles ones just went up to $14, and the Woolies ones are still about $12 a kilo. But do a blind taste test to family members or friends, and just ask them with a blind taste test which one tastes better. Be open-minded. And then sometimes these ones come on sale, or other fancy brands, but they're about double or triple the price of the home brand. So always try to have a toasty maker, even just for friends. You might not use it, but it might be a really good entertaining trick when you have people over for a very simple lunch. Well, it could be a fancy lunch. But nowadays in cafes, toasties cost between $10 and $16 each. You can put butter or margarine, you can put pesto, you can put tomato, cheese, ham, pineapple, anything you put on a pizza. And get some good bread. Get some Helga's or some kind of wholemeal bread, or some wholemeal Woolies brand bread. Get something tasty, like, it's a lot cheaper than buying a pizza, or a lot of takeaway from Macca's or something, which is rubbish anyway. So, and cut up some onions, cut up some red onions. Make it quite Mediterranean, so you've got a lot of tomato, a lot of onion, some artichokes. We used to have a focaccia trend in the late 80s and 90s in inner Sydney, and there'd be a lot of artichokes, sun-dried tomatoes, pesto, and they were lovely. So instead of spending $5 at a cafe, try to make fresh coffee at home. I don't think it would ever cost you more than $1 a cup, and it's probably closer to 70 cents a cup. And then once you multiply that by, maybe 4 adults who are living in your family, or 5 or 2, you can have a lot of savings each week. And get a really good machine. Get an Italian designed machine. They're only about $500 at the Good Guys, or Bingley, or Harvey Norman. But some people are boycotting Harvey Norman. So I'll plug Good Guys and Bingley because they're in Belconnen, even though Harvey Norman's in the mall. Obviously, I'm not looking for Harvey Norman sponsorship. Anyway, so get a really good coffee machine. You put the beans in the top here. I've got some grinders in there at the moment. And then this is a little tray I use to catch water or the end of the coffee. When it cleans, you know, it gurgles. And then you open it up. This is where the little the waste bits go, the waste coffee. And I put that in the compost. I take it out to the chickens and they peck and it goes back to the soil. So that just goes in that little slot. I clean it out every day or every second day. And then that's where the drips go. I just rinse that under the tap every couple of days. And then you keep your cappuccino nozzle clean. This is where you, wait, I'll just close this. I love how easy this is. And I've had it for quite a few years and it was secondhand. This is where you fill the water. The water, you take it out, put it under the tap. You fill it up to about here and it won't work. It will say fill up. See here it says fill tank. I mean, this is so modern. I am not normally this modern. I'm normally like Bialetti, espresso type of person, or a Bodum, or sometimes instant coffee. I do drink instant coffee and I only have about one fresh coffee a day because it's not that great for you all day long. But I really enjoy my coffee. And so fill up here, take it under the kitchen tap, put the tap water in here. And if it gets to about there, it will say fill tank. So you push it back in, give it a bit of a ram, and then it says ready, standard taste. And you can alter it. This is on off. This is kind of like half. This is a third. This is full. And the bean strength, you can manipulate that. Strong taste, extra strong taste, extra mild taste. I mean, it's like a computer. It's amazing. I would buy it new though if I started again. So that's short. Oh, it's starting up. Crikey. Anyway. Whoop. I haven't got a cup. Anyway, I need a cup. I have never wasted a coffee like that before, but anyway, first time for everything. So get a good coffee machine, even if it's $500 over 5 or 10 years, it's worth it. Always get a toasty maker, especially with children. Children love this. You know, you can do so many things with it. Also, cream cheese is really good. I like cream cheese, I like pesto, I like onions, tomato, cheese, artichoke, all those types of things. And then the other two things I think you really, really need in a kitchen that are so simple, and you should buy any new couple who are living together or moving out, because, you know, I'm a mother of boys in their 20s or sons, and a lot of people are moving out or coming back home with the recession. So this is my other opinion. Always have a kettle and a toaster. Whoops, my tiles don't look very clean, do they? Sorry about that. My rooster looks nice though, doesn't it? So this is the kettle. I just bought a standard kettle from somewhere like Bingley, and I bought a nice cheerful red toaster from Bingley in Belconnen. So those things are really, really good for snacks. Making your own cup of tea or your own cup of instant coffee, and then make toast with different nice things. I once read an article in The Independent, a UK paper, and it was saying one lady did a business just chatting to people, like a psychologist but not qualified, and she'd talk about people's problems or people's issues. and she'd serve a cuppa, like a pot of tea, and toast. And people love turning up and just talking about their issues. And I thought, wow, you only need about $40 for a nice toaster, or maybe only $20 from Kmart. I think this one was about $45. It's a 4-slice toaster. And then you just need a kettle. What's a kettle? Kettles are about $25 at Kmart or Target, or $40 for a good one. And then I'd also recommend getting some type of blender. There's one type of blender here. So you can make your own fruit juices. That's a great idea and very healthy. Don't buy this. I bought this from Woolworths on sale and I don't like it. So I'm not saying that's good. Always have 3 types of instant coffee. I like this Coles Organic. It's very affordable. And I think it's quite good for instant coffee. And then we've got a couple of other ones. Different types of coffee. We've always got Milo. I've got some chai latte here. I always get my little sprinkles for a homemade cappuccino. And I've got lots of tea in the pantry. I'm trying to give away my tea because I've got too much at the moment. I'm using some Narada just for pots of tea. And I've got different types of tea bags, lots of Twinings, lots of, what's that Australian one, the one from northern New South Wales. Anyway, I'm using Narada now, and I'm trying to use up a lot of tea bags I have in the pantry, but always get one of these so it looks like a cafe coffee. Always have heaps of leaf tea and tea bags and instant coffee in the house. I've got here some Yorkshire Gold I got from David Jones when I had a gift voucher. I sometimes find that a bit funny and I sometimes get a headache, so I don't drink a lot of it. This is an interesting tea I got in a Christmas hamper. Orange and spice, that's very pleasant. This is an interesting, I think, Vietnamese tea. We got in a Sydney restaurant. It's interesting. You can just get so many different things and get all types of sugar. I've got all types of sweeteners. I've got raw sugar. I try not to have heaps of sugar in tea or coffee. I also tried this sweetener. It's a stevia type of product. Which types of sweeteners do you like? Do you like stevia? And I mean, I've got all sorts of herb teas because I think that you should have in your home what you can find in a cafe. And I've got here some peppermint tea. I just put them in recycled jars. So that's how you can save at least $5 a day on fresh coffee and $5 a day on a toasty. And I think you can save a lot more. You make your own home like a cafe. It doesn't have to be complicated. My kitchen is not renovated, but you can add cheerful things like a rooster and a bright red toaster. And this kettle's quite simple. There's no big label. I think it might be a Target one. I'm not sure. But the toaster's from Bingley. I think it's Cambrook. But I really like the colour. And I like that rooster. I got that from Peters of Kensington. We used to live near Kensington before, or in Kensington, near this shop, before I moved to Canberra. So that's a nice connection to shop there. And they use really good eco bubble foam in their packaging, which kind of melts to water in the bath, which I like. So always have a juice blender that you can make very cheap fresh juices from. When you look in cafes how much fresh juices cost, it's astounding. It's $7 or $8 for a fresh juice, but I don't think they cost more than $1 to make. So you can give that to your children and to yourself each day. Always have 3 or so instant coffees. Always have 3 herb teas. Always have leaf teas and tea bags. Always have some Milo. So when people pop in, you can offer different things. Always have cheerful cups. I'd say Maya and Bed Bath and Table, or a Potter. Or Woolies. Woolies and Coles often have lovely cheerful cups. Even the reject shop down at Kippax had some really cute chicken cups recently. So I hope that motivates you to get a toastie, get some way of making some good fresh coffee. Try the different coffee beans at the supermarkets. Try the generic products. You never know what will suit you. Always save your lids for the guy near Belconnen or Jamison who does lids for kids. And that's about it. And having a radio can be good. And listen to music. That doesn't cost much money in a recession. You can dance around and sing while you're cooking. So I hope that helps you save $10 a day at least. I think your family could save a lot more. And you're having exactly the same ingredients as you would have in a cafe or a top restaurant. And you never know, it could be a lot better, much better juice. I remember one son worked in a franchise cafe and he said, "Mum, you know what orange juice they serve? We go up to Woolies and we buy the no brand or generic Woolies orange juice, the 2-litre bottles. And that's what we serve in glasses for $6 or $7 a glass." And I said, yeah, homemade is always best. Go to Jamison markets, buy 10 kilos of fresh oranges from the Riverina, squeeze them or blend them up yourself, and it will only cost 30 cents. So that's the end of my rant. It's helped me in life as a young person, as a mother, paying rent, paying off a mortgage. Good luck.